Speaking of guys who didn't sit around and do nothing, and who've made a little bit for themselves.
This is crazy.
I have a special guest here, as you guys can see, Michael Collins here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast. I brought a card out from the reserves. The
I've
Meelypops
never
reserve.
seen anything like this before.
There's two guys on that card, Mike.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you got
not
stories.
just two guys, bruh.
Yeah.
You guys, you just turned this into a goat farm. It's a goat farm.
And these aren't any goats, right? These are the head goats.
These are Billy goats.
Yeah, these are the Billy goats.
These are Billy goats.
Exactly. So we got a Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan dual sign autograph card here. It's got a Sunday
crazy.
red jersey, right, that he wore, and then you got a white from the Wizards there. It's the only card that has the two of them on it from a basketball and golf perspective. There is some dual autographs of Michael Jordan.
There's only 25 of these cards ever made.
Yeah, and then also it's graded really high.
I feel weird touching this, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know it's got plastic on the outside, but it should be like, yo, the plastic got fingerprints on it. Just ruined the value.
But I just love to know what, like, as you see something like this, and then you like translate it to your history and all, meeting these guys, seeing these guys for the first time, the egos these guys have, the confidence these guys have. I'm sure you got some stories for it.
So I will tell you a funny story. So the first time, and I think the only time they have ever played in a Pro-Am together in public was in Charlotte at the Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So at Quail Hollow, the two of them played on a Wednesday Pro-Am together. And there were bigger crowds there than I've seen for tournaments.
Sure.
And this is on a Pro-Am because it's them two playing.
Sure.
And then I get the assignment of you got to interview them and you going first. So, of course, like, it's the two Billy Goats. It's Tiger and MJ. Like, and now I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do? Like, how I'm going to start this off? And I'm thinking, because there's all kinds of media, but I'm also being a little bit selfish. And I'm like, I got to start this in a way that no one can use what I say. Mm-hmm. Because what happened is, when they call it a scrum, when you got a scrum like that, if you ask the wrong question, if you ask a question, any question, most of the time, the other people will steal it and they'll use it like they asked it. So I was like, all right. So now when they're walking off, both of them, the people are coming like, hey, we would love it if you would chat with Lil. And they were like, nah, we're not talking to nobody after the fact. And then they were like, the guy from Michael Collins asked him. And they were like, all right. So now when they come over, now it's even more pressure. Because I know, like, this is probably going to be big time. So they walk over. There's thousands of people around in the back. Scream, and they're all, everybody trying to get stuff signed. All this media standing around, and they are looking at me like, what are you going to do? So I looked at both of them, and I was like, it's not very often that Moses and Jesus go into public and play golf together. Which one's which? Who's who? And both of them bust out laughing and looked at each other, and MJ was like, I ain't touching that. And both of them laughed. And everybody around was like, huh? And they all laughed in too, but they knew, like, and then we just had a regular conversation about what it was like on the golf course for the two of them and playing in front of people and like what brought them together and all that kind of stuff. But I'll never forget like that initial, because everybody was like on pins and needles looking around like, oh, how's this going down? And so to be able to break that ice, and then it was just three dudes talking. And that happened to have 1,000 flies on the wall, like all being nosy, trying to get in our business.
Yeah.
So,
wow.